Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about the structure of the simple sentence in the English language. Imagine sending a text to your English-speaking friend and getting question marks back, or maybe getting a reply that says, "I'm really sorry, but I don't understand what you're saying here." That might happen if we break some rules about creating good, proper sentences in English. There are different types of sentences that we can create, and today we're going to talk about the simple sentence. And such a sentence must include three elements: a subject, and a verb, and complete thought. So let's unpack that. Let's see what that means. So we're going to start our sentence with a noun or pronoun. And if you haven't seen my video on parts of speech, then you can go and watch it now. There we were saying in the English language there are words that refer to people, places, or things. There are also words that replace nouns. And here we have four examples. Four sentences that start with a pronoun. So a noun or pronoun is very good for the subject position, for the initial position in a sentence. And there are some common mistakes that might happen when it comes to the subject of the sentence. The first typical mistake is not including a subject at all. And while this is okay in many languages, in the English, it's not acceptable. Another type of a mistake that we can make is including two subjects, a noun and pronoun, instead of a noun or pronoun. And two subjects is not something that native speakers like to use, and this is going to create a grammatical error. And the last type of a mistake that's very, very common is not putting the subject in the initial position, but putting it somewhere else in the sentence. And if this is not a question, if this is a statement, then the subject must come first. Now let's look at the verb. So once we have our subject in place, we're going to follow with a verb. And again, if you remember from my presentation on parts of speech, a verb is a word that shows action or maybe state of being. So again, the verb, if this is not a question, the verb is going to come second. And for some tenses, we need only one word. For other tenses, we might need more than one verb. But here you have several examples of grammatically correct sentences with the verb after the subject. On the right-hand side, you see a couple of examples that illustrate some mistakes that might happen when we try to create good sentences in English. So one typical mistake is not including a verb at all. Another one is including too many verbs unnecessarily, or maybe using a wrong verb, or maybe not using enough verbs for the tense that we're trying to use. And then we can put the verb in the wrong position. Again, if this is not a question, the verb comes second after the subject. And finally, the form of our verb might be incorrect for the subject that we've selected. And finally, let's look at the last element, complete thought. So if I come up to a native speaker and say, "John likes," or maybe "she sent," or "they said," that person is going to keep looking at me and keep waiting for me to finish these sentences because right now they are not complete. I do have a subject, I do have a verb, but I'm not expressing a complete thought. And we might think, okay, so that means a subject and a verb is not enough for a good sentence, which is not exactly true, because here I have two sentences that only have a subject and a verb, and they are complete. They do express a complete thought, because these particular verbs do not require that I put more words after them. However, most of the time we do have a subject, we do have a verb, and we do have more words after that to complete our thought. What's important is that a complete thought is present every single time we create a sentence. And then there is a subject, there is a verb, there is a complete thought, and there is total success in our communication, whether we communicate orally with other English speakers or in writing. Then we understand each other, and then we can enjoy our connection. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.